Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Tasmania's AFL dossier has finally landed on the desks of club presidents, proposing a team anchored at Macquarie Point and sharing games with the North. Although there's contention around the new stadium's cost and location, supporters say it will bring energy to Hobart's CBD.
As a VFL veteran of the 80s, Gary Baker was used to playing on sloppy suburban grounds, but even against modern-day benchmarks, he says Macquarie Point would be world-class.
We couldn't get a better site for it anywhere in Australia.
Baker ran Salamanca's Rock Wall for nearly 15 years, seeing firsthand the impact of AFL fixtures in Hobart.
They're the only nights that you'd want another few floors on your restaurant because you just can't put enough people in.
Tasmania's bid to join the AFL in 2027 now hinges on the league's 18 clubs, who will cast their vote in around a fortnight.
We believe there is considerable financial, economic and emotional support for a Tasmanian team.
But Macquarie Point remains the stumbling block.
We've resolved and finalised 10 of the 11 work streams, and the final piece is resolving the stadium. We agree that we will solve that together at the right time.
A boutique stadium of some 23,000 seat capacity, 30,000 standing room and iconic.
The federal government hasn't made a commitment to the stadium, nor has the AFL asked. State Labor outright balks at stumping up the cash.
This is not the right time for significant investment in new infrastructure in Tasmania when Tasmanians are struggling.
Twisted priorities in a state that has significant social challenges.
As it stands though, Tasmania is pledging $12 million annually over 12 years, plus $60 million towards a high-performance centre. The AFL will put forward $10 million. The deal includes an AFLW team, with games set to be shared between Hobart and an upgraded UTAS stadium. The bid also includes a pitch to play pre-season games here at Dial Park's multi-million-dollar complex in Penguin. Baker just hopes there's enough to rebuild grassroots footy and ensure there's enough talent at the top to go around.
When I was young, you know, kids are playing, kicking the footy in the street and all that sort of stuff after school. I don't see that happening much anymore, mate. So I just hope that the injection of football in Tasmania with a new AFL side, if it happened, that kids would get that injection, the enthusiasm to play AFL footy again.
Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Paramedics in the north are the latest frontline workers to take action, fed up with the government's failure to address their concerns. Following last week's roundtable with the Premier, the union says it's disappointed with these stalled negotiations.
Another day, another strike.
Now! What do we want? Fix rabbit! When do we want it? Now!
This time, paramedics rallying at the LGH in response to the state government's failure to address pay and safety issues.
Paramedics are extremely fed up. They're sick of being ramped. We're here at the hospital all the time and it's really frustrating.
It's never been worse. We're seeing a real exodus of paramedics.
With bed block and ambulance ramping key issues.
The resourcing of ambulance and the health system in general is abysmal and we need to address that as a matter of urgency.
It comes as Tasmania's ambulance response times are now almost double the recommended time for urgent calls.
They've never been more stretched. We're seeing response times blow out to 15 minutes in excess of the national average.
Despite numerous calls to action and a roundtable meeting with the Premier last week, paramedics are still waiting for the government to step up.
It was a little bit frustrating. We'd expected an offer to be made at that roundtable.
Tasmanian paramedics are some of the lowest paid in the country, and if a resolution doesn't come to fruition by week's end, the union says further action is on the cards. Meanwhile, Tasmanian teachers are the next to join a long line of public workers with plans to hold statewide stop work action next Wednesday.
They won't be attending school until 10:30 in the morning. We need to take this action to stand up to the government and show them that we are serious about needing them to come forward with solutions.
The union is calling for improved working conditions and better pay, claiming stop work action is their last resort. McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
A mural has been unveiled today recognising the improving relationship between Tasmania Police and the LGBTQIA+ community. It was also a reunion for 2 people involved in one of the state's most powerful photos during the infamous Salamanca Market arrests.
An embrace 3 decades in the making. Tim Dooley and Rodney Croom haven't seen each other for 34 years, but they are etched in one of Tasmania's most iconic images. Then Constable Dooley arrested the equality activist at the Salamanca markets in 1988, while campaigning to decriminalise homosexuality.
In addition, I require to remove all your property. It will be seized and removed pursuant to bylaw 145 of the City of Hobart.
Rodney and I were kind of actors at that moment in time, and that's how it's sort of been viewed.
I remember feeling defiant because it was unfair that our store was banned, but also afraid.
It led to a relationship reset, with the state becoming a worldwide leader in inclusion. Those changes recognised in a new mural at the police academy.
It's important that they walk past that every day and just remind themselves that we work and provide a policing service to all the community.
The display outlining changes to laws and internal practices and culture. Their efforts award-winning, also catching the eye of Hong Kong police.
Sought us out from overseas because they were impressed the way we're doing and working with the LGBTIQA+ community.
Not all is fixed, with both sides saying work is needed in areas such as family violence and attitudes. But for Rodney, today remains a special moment.
I could not possibly have imagined that 30 years later we would be here at Rugby Academy celebrating the transformation.
And a reminder of the power of time. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Nominations have now closed for the upcoming local government elections. The Tasmanian Electoral Commission was expecting around 500 people to put themselves forward for a role on one of the state's 29 councils. Voting in this year's elections is compulsory and will be conducted by postal ballot starting October 3. Polls close on October 25. The candidates will be announced tomorrow. The first patients have been cared for at the new antenatal clinic at the Northwest Regional Hospital. The near $6 million facility includes 4 dedicated CTG bays to monitor an unborn baby's heartbeat.
At the forefront of all the staff's minds is that patient care and the continuity of care, of course, which is so very important.
Around 35 staff will operate the clinic, providing more than 150 consultations each week. Deloraine's new pump track has officially opened, with some of the community's rising riders enjoying the new facilities. The first of its kind in the Meander Valley features 140 metres of pavement, fostering recreational participation amongst the community.
It's good just for helping improve your skills and all the little things. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. Our bike group from school, we don't usually have anything to ride, but now every time we go to ride, we've got somewhere to be.
So it's up to world-class standards. I've just been told that it's a little bit different to others in the state, and it actually suits the younger people to run here, but yeah, great addition.
The state government invested $250,000 into the new addition, with construction taking 8 months to complete. The Tasmania Aboriginal Legal Service has launched a new program called SIS, standing for Support, Information and Strength. The Family Violence Prevention Service will provide legal support to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people across the state.
It's incredibly important for community to have a service that they can access and trust, that understands the significant impact of trauma and colonisation on Aboriginal people in Tasmania.
There isn't a specialised service in Tasmania of this nature. It's something that there's a real need for there to be a service that is trauma-informed and a culturally safe place for people to access legal services as well as holistic non-legal services.
The $1 million project will continue until the end of next year, with hopes to secure further funding to promote the service's longevity. A number of University of Tasmania students are preparing to swap their studies for sport. 83 students will travel to Perth later this week for the Unisport National Championships. From sailing to basketball, it's the largest group the institution has taken to the event, with some using it as a springboard to bigger things.
I'm going away to the European Championships a week after I get back from the uni games, so I'll be race hardened by then.
Any experience you can get in national tournaments is good experience, so it's always good to travel up to the mainland to play.
The event officially gets underway on Saturday. 22 Tasmanian retirees have received a boost to their savings after winning Division 1 in Saturday's Tats Lotto. The winning ticket was purchased from a Lindisfarne news agency by a group of neighbours in a private syndicate. They share in just over $450,000 and plan on celebrating with a big party this weekend. At least they won't have to worry about the neighbours complaining.
Heated clashes in Saturday's TSL Grand Final will come under the microscope. TSL management says the match review officer is working through a number of incidents from the match, including an all-in brawl at three-quarter time, while commentators noted a scuffle between the two sides at half-time. The Jack Jumpers are back in action for their second NBL Blitz pre-season game. Jack McVeigh scoring from long range in Darwin.
There's McVeigh. Nice start to the second term.
The Jack Jumpers trail the Adelaide 36ers by 7 points at three-quarter time. Tasmania's interim women's cricket coach says he's excited about getting a chance to work with the Tigers and Hurricane squads. Dan Marsh will run Hobart's WBBL campaign, also coaching Tasmania's first two WNCL matches as reigning premier. However, he won't be a contender for the permanent job, confirming he is in the running to join the national team as an assistant coach.
I'm really interested in a role with the Aussie team, but obviously that's a fair bit away at the minute. So I've applied for that role. Let's see what happens.
Marsh's first match in charge is a WNCL fixture against Victoria on October 4. Launceston's Nathaniel Atkinson has played a key role in Heart of Midlothian's latest win. Coming on as a sub late in the match, Atkinson produced an assist to help seal a 3-0 victory for the Jam Tarts against Motherwell in the Scottish Premiership. He will now head to Australia for upcoming friendlies against New Zealand. Racing legend John Bowe has crossed the line in his 300th Touring Car Masters race. The Tasmanian finished second in the tightest finish of the season in a drag race finish at Sandown.
John Bowe misses out on winning his 300th race by .024 of a second.
Bowe and winner Adam Breddington swapped the lead 4 times in the race. And the North West Coast Kyron Bacon has won another round of the E1 class in the Australian Off-Road Championship. The Yamaha rider clocked the fastest overall time in South Australia and holds on to the championship lead. Railton's Jonty Reinders placed second in the E3. Ulverston's Bailey Davies rounded out the top 5.
Good evening. Well, here we are Monday night after some of us had experienced a very stressful weekend. At my age, I don't think I can get through anything like that again. Launceston 18, that was the warmest around the state today. Hobart and Burnie hit 16 and Devonport 17 degrees. Temperatures around average. St Helens and Friendly Beaches 17, Bushy Park and Wynyard 16, Lowhead 15, Strawn and the Islands 14 degrees. We had sunny skies over the north and east today as cumulus clouds scattered over the west and south. Zeehan had 8 millimetres of rain to 3 p.m. A cold front and trough produced cloud over and to the south of WA. An active area of clouders over Queensland's coast with embedded thunderstorms. Tomorrow, a high centred over New South Wales will extend a ridge to the north and south. A cold front over Central Australia links to a low over the Bight. We'll have west-northwesterly winds at 10 to 15 knots, reaching 25 knots later as they swing more north-northwesterly during the day. Swells to 3 metres. And still a bit of water around with minor flood warnings for the Macquarie, Meander, North Esk and South Esk rivers. Tuesday, Hobart 17 becoming cloudy. Same for Adventure Bay, but 15 the top there and 14 the high for Tarraleah after early frost. 17 for Launceston, a cool start. 15 for Devonport and Bridport, partly cloudy over the north and northeast. 14 for Burnie, a bit of cloud there too. A shower developing for Strawn, 16 the top and 16 for Marrawar. St Helens tomorrow, a high of 17 degrees, a bit of cloud about. Swansea 17 as well, and Whitemark on Flinders, a sunny 16. On Wednesday, fine after morning fog patches. Temperatures sneaking into the low 20s for Hobart and Launceston. Showers possible over the northeast on Thursday and a light shower over the north as well, and showers developing over most areas on Friday as winds turn west-southwesterly during the day. A possible shower in Perth, showers developing in Adelaide, cloudy weather forecast for Melbourne, sunny skies for Sydney and Brisbane. And here are the current conditions. And Kim, as far as the footy goes, I hope next Monday I am feeling just as relieved as I am now.
Good luck to you, Merv.